Alright guys, so here's a horror movie that I have not reviewed yet on my channel that is one that is way long overdue. The Jaws films, and this will be a review on the first Jaws, as well as a lot of collabs with my Horror Enthusiast 101 group on Facebook. So what I'm going to do, since I don't know how many people are going to be on here as of now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my review and then intersperse in between my review different reviews, which are a few minutes long, for each of the people who want to be in this video. So this will be a collab with a lot of different Horror Enthusiast 101 people. And I'm excited because I really do like this group, and I'm glad that we all can join and do all these collabs together. So I'm not going to name them all because I don't know which ones exactly are going to be in this. So I will have them all just interspersed in this video. So I'm going to start off with my review. So this is Steven Spielberg's, his first big movie, I'd argue. Like, there's no other movie before this that I looked up on his filmography that made him big. It's funny, I have not seen any of the movies pre-Jaws that Steven Spielberg has done. And he has done a couple horror movies, which I've heard of, but I have not seen. He did a few obscure horror films called Something Evil, Duel, and Night Gallery, and I have not seen any of those. And it's funny that he has a little horror past that nobody talks about. But it's funny that it makes total sense with Jaws being the next film in his filmography, because they were little horror films, and then this is a horror film, but also an adventure film. So Jaws, the original, I do like the fact that it's a adventure horror film as well. It's not just a pure horror film, because he is mostly known for sci-fi films and dramas, for the most part. I mean, he does a lot of different genres, Spielberg does, but this is one of his lesser genres that he does, even though he did a couple before he became big. And so horror is part of his essence as a director, but he's not known for it much. And Jaws, I can argue, is not fully a horror film because it is an adventure film as the movie goes along as well, and it feels whimsical and adventurous like towards the end of the movie. So Jaws, it's so good I'm finally talking about this on this channel, because this is one of my favorite horror movies. It's not like in my top like 5, but it is still a fantastic horror movie. It's probably in my top 10, top 20. But I can see every reason why people put this as their favorite horror movie ever, if people do. Now, I can't say anything special about the opening, because everybody has talked about how fantastic the opening is. There's, like, with Chrissy and how she goes into the water and is dragged down. You don't see anything, and I think that makes it even more effective whenever you have to imagine the horror as opposed to seeing it. I think that in a lot of ways is better than real on-screen gore in a lot of instances. So I really appreciate that. So the opening kill is great, and I really love the fact that this Brody family is so likable and charming. They have great chemistry, and in this first movie, they're so likable. I really like Chief Brody. Chief Brody is such a cool character, and Roy Scheider has a fantastic performance in this, and he has a good performance in Jaws too as well. And he really sells it as this chief who is like weary on what's happening because one girl's killed and then another person's killed, and he is thinking there's something out there. And then whenever he realizes it's a shark, it works very well in how he tries everything he can to save this town, whether it's with the mayor not caring and having people still go into the water and people getting killed. So I really appreciate that as just a great character, Chief Brody. I really like him a lot. And I love the opening scene between Chief Brody and his wife, Ellen, and how they're talking about the kids being in the backyard. And Ellen Brody says, in Amityville, you say yard. And Brody just says, they're in the yard, not far from the car. And like they have great chemistry with moments like that, where they say lines like that, which seems like what a real relationship sounds like, even though it's in a movie. And I do appreciate that. And later in the movie, whenever Chief Brody is doing the mimicking with his kid, it's just such a charming scene. And again, it gives you such a reason to root for this guy as like trying to save the town and just the family in general and rooting with them. And I really just like them a lot. They're such a great set of characters, the family. And I like how this is a slow moving movie. I like the fact that you have to, like, you look at the movie in a way where it's not supposed to be like a kill every like 5 minutes. It's supposed to be about these characters, and they do a fantastic job of it. And the build up to these kills is incredible.
Hey Corey, thanks for letting me collab with you on the original Jaws. Obviously, this is my favorite shark movie, just like it is for pretty much everybody, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies. The plot is really simple. It's just a shark is terrorizing this beach town, and they gotta stop it. That's the plot. But what makes this movie so great is the score. Company with like the POV shots of like the shark underneath, like looking up, or like the shark just below the surface. They hardly show the shark at all, but this movie's still scary as hell because you imagine in your mind what the shark looks like under the water, and sometimes your imagination is scarier than the actual reality. So the score with the suspense and the tension, how they don't show the shark a lot, it really just builds suspense so well. The pacing is so good in this movie. From when the woman's killed at the beginning, they have the guts to kill a little kid really early in this movie too, and then they have the 4th of July event where they're watching the beaches, but the shark still kills that one guy in the boat anyway. And then the whole last half of the movie or whatever, where all three of them are on the ship and they're trying to hunt the shark and kill it, and as the shark's like tearing apart their boat and attacking them and everything. Like, the pacing is so good, the suspense and tension is so good, the score is so good in this movie, the kills are so good. When you do see the shark looks really good as well. The gore's awesome in this movie, even though you don't get a ton of kills, especially if you think, I believe this is a PG movie, I'm pretty sure. The gore's outstanding considering it's a PG movie. Outstanding pacing. The acting from the entire cast is just amazing. I love that all the men on the boat are all really good actors, but they're all different characters. You got like the well-educated college guy who knows all about sharks. You got the police chief who's scared to get in the water. And then you got like the professional fisherman who hates like the college-educated guy. Like, every character is so different, but so good in their own way. And the ending of this movie is amazing. The whole last act is action-packed, and this movie has one of the best one-liners of all time. Smile, you son of a bitch. Gotta love that one-liner. So if you want to hear more details and get a full-length review, come on over to my channel, Derek's Horror Corner, and check out my full review of this movie. Thanks, Corey.
Like, the opening is really great, but I really love the build-up with the kid Alex, where like he goes into the water, and the build-up is incredible on the beach, and there's a lot of great cinematic moments, like close-ups, where like this guy is talking to Brody, and then you see from his point of view, like I'm in this camera right now, like he sees in the background the kid just swimming, and then you hear a scream while this guy is talking right here in the actual screen on the movie. And it's such a great cinematic shot, because then he hears a scream, and then Brody looks up, and it's just a girl screaming because a guy like grabbed her, like her boyfriend or whatever. And it's good tension building stuff like that makes this a reason why this is one of the best horror movies ever. And again, the build up after that to when Alex gets killed is so great, and it's so horrifying, especially because it's a kid that gets killed. Love that as well. Like, they don't, like, the shark isn't gonna just immediately kill just adults. It's gonna kill kids too. It just wants blood. and that's great that they have the balls to do that, to kill off a kid. And I love, before Alex is killed, that shot and that fast zoom in on Brody where he's just sitting there and he looks, and it zooms in on him, and he knows that there's a shark out there. And it's just a fantastic cinematic shot. This movie shows that Steven Spielberg, even before he became big, he had such great artistry and in his movies, and I love that this one is one of the starts of it. And again, I haven't seen like Duel or Night Gallery or the other movies that he did before this, horror-wise, and they might have some good like artistic merit too, but I just haven't seen them yet. And so I appreciate that too.
Hey Corey, thank you so much for letting me take part in this Jaws review. My name is Esley Greer from Entertainment Fanatic Reviews, and I want to say I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, really. And upon rewatch, I really did enjoy it, not as much as I used to, but it does have some really good cinematography, and for the most part, the special effects are pretty good. I do love the dynamic between Quint, Hooper, and Brody. That's when the film starts to pick up, in my opinion. It's a bit slow at first, but when they're all three on the boat, it's really good, and I love the blow up, or the explosion of the shark at the end of the film. It's 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everyone that's watching this. I'm about to head out, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
And I also appreciate that there is an underrated moment in the movie where there's this Charlie character who's on a little dock, and the shark breaks down the dock where he's going, like, trying to get off the dock, and he's like scraping to get off of the dock, and the shark's right there, and you don't even see the shark. You see him like breaking apart this little dock, and Charlie's feet are right there down where the shark is, and you don't even see the shark. And I love how that build up is so fantastic. It's only like a minute long, but it's a great moment. Then the scene where Hooper goes underwater still gets me. Like, this is one of the best like jump scares in any horror movie, where Hooper goes underwater and he goes into that abandoned boat underwater, and that head pops out of the window in the underwater boat. That is one of the best jump scares I have ever seen in my life. It blows me away.
Hello Corey, thank you for letting me be in this video, and I'm sorry that Harley thinks he has to be in here too. He won't stay off of me for some reason this morning. Ow. Harley, don't bite, fool. Anyway, thank you for letting me be in this video. I love Jaws. This is one of my favorite, actually this is my favorite horror movie of all time. It's the reason I am a horror fan today and everything. It was the very first horror movie I ever saw and everything, so the nostalgia for this movie is like really, really high. Every time I watch it, I seem to enjoy it a little bit more and everything. And there's a lot of things I love about this movie. There's not really hardly anything that I don't like about it. The cast is great, especially Roy Scheider as Chief Brody. I thought he was excellent and everything. Richard Dreyfuss as Hooper was really good, and Robert Shaw as Quint was great. He steals every scene he's in as well. And the three of them together when they go out to hunt the shark down, it is a lot of fun to watch. Everything. I love that scene when they're drunk in the boat and they're singing and stuff. I just always get a kick out of that. It's always just a really fun scene. And I love Quint's death, even though I really like the character. I think his death was pretty cool and everything. I really like the end of the movie where they kill the shark and he's like, "Smile, you son of a," and he kills it. And it has I thought that was really cool. I like that it has like the dinosaur sound effects that Spielberg also used on the movie Duel and everything. I thought that was really cool. He says that he used it kind of as a way to thank Duel for being the movie that kind of launched his career and everything. I thought that was really cool. Cool fun fact about the movie. Yeah, I like all of the death scenes in the opening of this movie with I can't remember what her name is. She gets A at the beginning of the movie. The very first person that gets A. It's just such an awesome way to start the movie. It's probably my favorite opening scene in a horror movie. And I love like where at the very beginning when we hear the awesome score by John Williams and you see the shark's point of view swimming under the water and stuff. It's really great scene and everything. I love how we don't really get to see the shark until the end of the movie. Spielberg did a great job keeping it suspenseful and everything, only because they couldn't show the shark throughout because they were having mechanical problems. I think that made the movie even better and everything. So But I just love Jaws. I think it's a great, great movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time and everything. So I'm really happy you let me be in this video, Corey, because I love this movie, and I look forward to reviewing the other movies with you as well and everything. I'll have my review for... I'll be in his review for the next 3 Jaws movies and everything, so I look forward to that, and I'll do a full review of this on my channel, and Corey will be in that video too, so y'all can check that out as well and everything. And thank you again, Corey, and have a good day, everybody.
Let's get back to Brody real quick. That scene where Alex's mother is telling him that she figured out that he knew that there was a shark, and Alex still went out there, and she just came from her own son's funeral, is a haunting scene. And that performance is underrated from that lady who played Alex's mother. Like, she just says, like, you knew that he actually, like, the shark was out there and you didn't do anything. You knew. And, like, it's just a great moment of acting. Like, it is such a good moment. So incredibly well acted. I want to mention the mayor in this one too. People are getting killed, and the mayor just doesn't care. Like a typical mayor, he wants money, so he just doesn't care, and he has them go out into the water anyways. And of course, more stuff happens. So I do like that mayor character as him being another villain to the picture. Like, he is another villain in the movie, because he, even though he understands later that he was wrong, and some lives are cost by him, I did like that this character, like, in a way, yeah, he wants money, but he's also looking at it like, I haven't seen this, so what's, like... Now let's talk about the shark. I love how the shark is really not shown much at all in the movie. I think that makes it a great little miracle mistake, because they didn't think that the shark looked convincing enough in the movie that they didn't show it much. And again, that is just a cool little mistake that made this movie better than what it already is. Like, it's way better that they don't show the shark. They have the anticipation in the build, as opposed to just seeing the shark every like 2 minutes. I love that. Love that a lot. And I love how the shark, whenever he's not, like, you don't see the shark, you have moments of just water moving, and it is effective because you know that there's a real shark out there. I love that. And then I love this kill where, like, this guy is in the water and, like, his leg gets chopped off by the shark, and you see the leg, like, fall down to the water. And I love how this is a PG-rated movie because they didn't have PG-13 yet. But it should have been an R. Like, honestly, in some instances, the kills in this should have just solicited an R rating. But it's a PG movie, and it's so funny, and they didn't have the PG-13 rating yet, because Temple Dune hadn't come out yet. But I thought that it's so funny that this is an R-rated, like, this isn't R-rated because of some of the kills. I guess it's only the bloody leg. Well, you see the bloody leg, you see the body, the head in the water, underwater, that's killed. I feel like that solicits an R in some ways. It'd be a soft R, but I feel like that solicits it, so... So yeah, and so then the rest of the movie afterward, after these various, like, couple killings by the shark, Quint, Brody, and Hooper go on a boat trip to try to kill the shark, and then it becomes a whimsical movie. And I like, not a whimsical movie, it becomes a movie with a whimsical, like, happy, adventurous score. And I appreciate about this movie, because it isn't just a horrifying movie all around throughout. And I really like the chemistry between Quint, Hooper, and Brody. They all have really great chemistry, and their moments in the boat are fascinating. Really fascinating. And I love Quint's story about his shark encounters, because they bring him in because he's done this before. And I really liked his stories. Like, you're so interested in what he's saying with the sharks that he's encountered. And I think that that's awesome. And then we get to the end where we actually see the shark, and the shark I didn't think looked bad. They kept saying that they didn't show it much because it didn't look convincing, but I love that they had the build up to where you just see the shark at the end, as opposed to the whole movie. But the ending is fantastic, where like you get one person is sacrificed, and I love the fact that by the end, Brody like has to do the final kill, and like he shoots the shark and kills it, and I love that moment. It's such a satisfying and rewarding moment in the movie for the shark to finally get killed, because it took so much and loss of a couple people that it feels rewarding whenever he kills off the shark at the end. And I love his final line where he says, "Smile, you son of a," and then he shoots the shark. That is such a great moment, and the shark just like going down in the water that after it's shot is such a great shot of it, if that makes sense. But I love that, and I love the ending where it's just happy. They both go and paddle back to the land, so that's it. But I love that, and again, on rewatch, this movie still holds up like you would have expect it does. Like, it's just a fantastic movie that still holds up. These characters are so likable and charming. The kills are good for, like, being a movie not trying to show the kills. Like, this is intimidating as a movie and suspenseful and a great thriller. And really love how this movie just is a great paced movie too. I think it's so interesting throughout. I never really get bored throughout this first one. The second one I get bored with. This one I don't. It's the second one and the fourth one I get bored with watching. The first one and the third one I like. The third one for really different reasons, like the third one being so ridiculously over the top. But this one is just a great character movie, and just such a great movie to root for these characters. And again, the horror is great in this movie too, because you don't see much, and I think that makes it even more effective. So I really loved Jaws again on rewatch, and again, I expected that. I've seen this movie a lot of times. I really still love this movie. It's a fantastic horror movie, a great Spielberg movie, and I've really just loved it again on rewatch. So I'm kind of going to say this, even though people are probably going to give me the answer I expect, but what do you think about Jaws? Tell me down below. I want to have conversations with you guys on my channel. And if you like this video, check my links down below in the description for my Twitter, Letterboxd, Patreon, and my Facebook group, Horror Enthusiast 101. Come join us every week. This week is Shark Week. And thank you guys again so much for watching.